Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers, geezers, old men, people who like Star Trek, ninjas, samurai, and others alike. It's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. Unfortunately, the old man of the sea is not with us, so we've got a water baby. Say hello, Nigel.
Hello, Nigel.
and
hello, people.
Hello, people, and a man who can only be described as being on the pork side. It's Keith. It's hello, Keith.
Hello, people.
On the pork side of life.
Hello,
fair,
Dave.
Since shaving off the beard, I did a quick 5k today, and it was quicker. I had less wind resistance.
Anyway, in this show, we'll be chatting about the new Star Trek series, Ghosts of Tsushima, the Unreal 5 engine, the I can't bring it up. Some odd things that happened on with it. Some YouTuber got fucked over because they thought she was being racist, and then we got a funny call. And then we're going to talk. And then we got to talk about 1917 and Extraction, starring Thor's Chris Hemsworth. So let's start off with the first one, which is about finding my mouse on the screen. It's gone missing. My mouse. Somebody. We want to talk about.
That'll learn you for having 3 screens.
For 3 screens running all at the same time. Yeah, it's.
He can be excused this week, ladies and gentlemen.
I can be excused.
It's his birthday today, and he got the keys to his Zimmer frame today, and you know, old age is catching up with him, and he's forgetful now. It's twilight years.
And next time I'm in Thailand, I'm going to punch you.
Yep, you'll have to catch him first.
Catch him? Catch him?
Yeah, I mean, you know, young man.
He'll be on his
him on his mobility cart. Anywho, Star Trek. We've had shit Star Trek, followed by more shit Star Trek, followed by what I'm going to assume is going to be more shit Star Trek, even though I like Anson Mount and that. But the people behind it, unless they get rid of the current creative staff who are creatively bankrupt, it's not going to go anywhere. And it's really annoying because the guy who plays Anson Mount seems like a really good, genuine guy, and he plays a really good, genuine character. I even like Ethan Peck as Spock, but not what they did to Spock. I will accept him as a younger Spock, but I can't accept how they fucking wrote it. So I this is just going to be shite.
You perfectly summed that up. Ethan Peck was a damn good Spock, but they made him a dyslexic, which insulted me. To tick that box, they had him constantly being berated by his sister. You had Anson Mount, who arguably, again, a really likable captain, and could, you know, in a different type of Star Trek show, could be up there as one of the greats. I mean, he genuinely was likable, a good captain. But again, constantly getting fucking lectured to by what's her face, Silly Cat.
But I'll be honest with you, he actually made Burnham a better character.
Yeah, well,
because he made her question herself, and she doesn't seem to work on her own, but she works when she's bouncing off of someone. She was much more tolerable with him than anyone else. He's the only person. That's how good an actor he is. He makes someone who's fucking unlikable, likable.
The thing was, right, I hated season 2 of Discovery more so than I did season 1, because they turned up the wokeness to full. But I'm going to admit that when you see the Bridge of the Enterprise, and you had Spock at the end there with Anson Mount and Number One, I did get a little bit of feels. And she's quite good, but you know what's going to happen. It's called Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which is quite a cool title. But again, it's the creatively bankrupt creative team behind. Well, they're not a creative team; they're just a team. Creative is a compliment that goes way too far with these guys. But I did quite like the fuse that number one in. But you know what's going to happen? She's going to be constantly lecturing him. Every other person on the fucking bridge will be female because that's what happened in Star Trek Discovery. The helmsman was female. The number one officer was
and Picard. The only person who wasn't was Riker.
So we're going to have Anson Mount and Spock who are going to constantly be lectured to by women. They're going to come up with the ideas and then, oh no, you're wrong. Fucking, down with the patriarchy. And that's what this is all going to be about. It's going to have the bullshit politics in it again. And that's a shame because Anson Mount in any other Star Trek show, had it been under Rick Berman, he would have been brilliant. And he probably would have been more liked than Scott Bakula. And I still quite like Scott Bakula. I know I'm among the few, but I liked him. But he would be up there with one of the greats. He'd be up there with Picard, I reckon, given the right creative team behind him, because he was hugely likable. It's a shame. It's a shame. I'm not excited by this, and I should be. I bloody well should be, because the only good thing about Star Trek Discovery Season 2 was Anson Mount and Ethan Peck. Yeah. But they weren't given the right... And number one, she was good. The scene with her when she comes back in the middle, that was quite a good scene, and I quite liked her. And again, if there wasn't all this politic bullshit behind it, people would still like her and still see her as a strong character because, that's what she was in the original pilot that never got aired, who incidentally married Gene Roddenberry.
Yes, and also the voice of the Enterprise computer.
Yes,
and I think Voyager too.
Voice of all the computers. She did all the voiceovers of all the Starfleet computers. So. But she was in the original. And the thing is, that they're going to completely ruin that because they already tried to steal a load of shit from the cage in fucking Season 2 of Discovery. So, I don't know. You didn't watch it, did you, Nige? You didn't watch Discovery Season 2?
No, because he's got brains.
No, I didn't watch Discovery Season 1, mate. The only bit of, is it Discovery, STD, that I saw was... when Gareth was around my house and he showed me a little clip of Michael Burnham walking through sand and then magically making a symbol thing appear. That was the only thing I've ever seen, and I thought that was utter crap. So I didn't bother to even continue. I saw that and I thought, what a nonsense, and then didn't bother. So unfortunately, no. Couldn't care less.
You remember the aliens from the cage, and then Star Trek. Michael's doing a damn good impression of.
The term is Mekon, and it's from Dan Dare, and that's the first time you ever saw a creature like that. So that's how geeky, fucking nerdy I am, is the fact that I know where those big grey-headed aliens originated from, even though they were green and had his own little flying saucer thing. This is not the only thing. Don't ask about Mekons. It's not the only thing.
No. I was going to ask if you reckon that Picard is going to sort of not merge, but be in the same sort of universe thing as
there's rumors Discovery that there's rumors that it's supposed to be in the same one as Discovery, and there's something supposed to happen, but. The long and short is, I don't think Patrick Stewart's going to make it through a full second season. He came across as really frail in some parts of Picard, and it kind of comes across as a bit cruel. It really does.
He did, and his voice was broken and not strong, and it didn't. I mean, that apart from the fact that it would have been forgiven if it had been a good show, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought the Enterprise Bridge was pretty cool in Discovery. I liked the Enterprise Bridge. I thought the Enterprise Bridge looked cool. But I can't forgive them the minute they started using fucking R2 Astro droids on the fucking Discovery. That just was like a step that you do not have fucking droids in Star Trek. That's a Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
R2-D2 belongs in Star Wars, not fucking Star Trek.
It's just supremely lazy. Yeah, they ripped off R2D2. They don't know how blast doors work because they think blast doors. It's all bollocks. They don't even know how mass works.
I'm surprised they didn't go the full hog, get the R2D2, get the 3CPO in, and then get the little new BB-8 as well. Beep, 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 beep. You know, following him around everywhere. Come on. And then, there's a new robot they could nick from Star Wars as well in the game.
Oh, that one
Last
that acts as a
It
parrot.
stands on your shoulder.
Yeah,
You could nick that one too.
Isn't
They're void of
the
ideas.
Wasn't one of the droids in the last one, the shitey one, Nick from Wall-E? There's one that looks like a fucking
like Eva from
like
Wall-E.
Yeah, the sort of Pixar light bulb one robot on wheels. That was in Wall-E, which is incidentally
Eva
one of the
which was voiced by Sigourney Weaver.
No, Eva was the flying one with the white one. There was one that had a big wheel and a little sort of light bulb head. You know, because you know the Pixar light, light animation thing. The part of the Pixar logo is the sort of desktop lamp. Right now, there was a droid in Rise of Skywalker that was like the light bulb, the lamp head on a big wheel. Now, I'm pretty bloody sure there was one of Wall-E's little friends running around the big ship was pretty similar. So, but anyway,
I'm trying to Google it for you, Keith.
In Discovery, yes, they were based on Eva. You're right. Sorry. It just reminded me of the droids in Rise of Skywalker. I was digressing.
It's a roll penny. I did a quick Google to try and find them. I couldn't find anything. Hopefully, Nigel will have a bit more luck. But that's not the only thing about Star Trek: Brave New Worlds. Is the fact that they're supposed to be recasting Captain Kirk.
Yes, I've heard this.
To which I'm like, fuck off! Seriously, So
was this guy Captain Kirk, who's current Captain Kirk? Has he been Captain Kirk for both 2 seasons?
No, there's no. Kirk hasn't turned up yet. We've only just had Ethan Peck as Scott.
Yeah.
So what would they do instead? Get the guy who played him in the film?
No, there's a third actor because there was rumors they were going to get Zachary Quinto back as Spock in Discovery, and then they didn't. They went with Ethan Peck, whether that's true or not. And in fairness, a lot of people went no. And they fucked him over in Discovery, but the actor was quite good. In fact, some would say he was better than Zachary Quinto when he was allowed to be Spock.
Yes.
But I really like Chris Pine as Kirk. I thought he did a very good job, and I thought he was a good Kirk, despite you don't have to like the movies, but I thought he was quite a good Kirk. This guy, he might be able to do Kirk because he was quite good in The Mandalorian.
No, he can't do Kirk. Look! Anyone gets a photo, allows anyone to use that photo for any promotional material.
Yeah, but that's probably where people know him from because he was the guy in the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get a better shot of him. Have you got a better shot of the actor? No, they haven't. Just got that one there. That's annoying. I would prefer a better shot of him just to see if he could pull it off. I don't know. No, I don't think he could pull it off. He doesn't look. If I remember in The Mandalorian, he came across as little Weasley.
Yeah, he did a bit. You're right there.
Who was he?
He was.
They were on a desert planet hunting down the Asian lady from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And he was the newbie who was trying to do it.
New kid on the block.
Yeah.
He worked with The Mandalorian for a little bit.
Tried to, but Mandalorian wasn't really having it. I'll be honest with you.
No.
Every opportunity he had to get rid of him.
He screwed over, didn't he? He screwed over the Mandalorian, and then Mando killed him. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah. I know. I think that there are other. It sounds really awful, but you could probably find a really good British actor to do it. And that would be ironic. It's like kind of Kia, because American icon Captain Kirk being played by a plucky Brit. All right. Yeah. So
So-
yeah, they're redoing that.
So we've had some comments, and it's from that man again.
That man
So-
again.
That man again. First of all, hello, David. Welcome back to the show. We'll have to get you on at some point instead, so you can actually voice your views during. Oh, and someone's just popped up and said hello. It's your mate Jason.
Okay. Well, let's see what Dave said. So first things first, before he says anything, yeah. Yeah, he agrees. Keith is on the pork side.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to put
He does.
that in there. Sorry, Nige.
Well, don't say sorry to me, you bastard.
Oh, Nige is
no,
running the setup. I've just interfered with the poor boy.
Right, yeah. So basically, Star Trek franchise hasn't gone in the right direction. I think you could sum it up like that. Yes.
Yes.
Agree. Shit, and even more shit. Yes. It doesn't sound like it's. I don't think any plot is sort of going to help it right now. Given what's happened with Star Wars and the Terminator franchise, it's time to cull off these old dinosaur franchises and bring in some new ones. For example, a Black Mamba movie, which, if you're listening to our podcast, you may have heard us talk about. David wrote that book.
Yeah, Dave wrote that book, and we've got to get sorted out something can do an audiobook at night.
Yeah, we do. Isolation isn't helping with that.
No.
Yes, David, and R2D2 rip off. Apparently, I don't know.
We can't find any footage of it, which is really annoying, or any clips.
It's a shame. And yeah, what happened to Chris Pine? Yeah, that's the geezer I was thinking of in the movies, right?
Yeah, that's the guy in the movies.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. Hollywood or whoever seems to think that if they're playing that character in the movies, they can't play the same character in TV shows. I don't understand why they do. I know they're trying to separate the things, but why? Why not? Why not just do the same? Use the same actors and do a feature length in the film.
Well, funny enough, Disney Plus is doing that. Disney Plus is doing that, but with the Marvel stuff and some of the Star Wars stuff. There is a story. I forgot. There is a story that's just something. You've heard they've cast Boba Fett.
Yes, yes, for
and it's the same guy that played the clones out of Attack of the Clones, the Kiwi guy. So they're bringing him back to play, and he is about the right age for Boba. So they don't have to age him up or anything because he's obviously aged since Attack of the Clones. But it is the same guy that played Jango Fett and is now playing Boba Fett and things. So they are. Disney, the evil overlords, has cottoned onto this, Nige, and I think it's going to work. I mean, one of the most viewed episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was the episode with our man Samuel L. Jackson in it, and that was awesome. But it very rarely happens where they do crossovers. So, but yeah, you're right. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you.
Yeah, I just think if a series on TV is well loved, well liked, and gets loads of viewers everywhere, why not use those same actors in the movie side of things? It sort of knocks me that they've got that Ezra Miller bloke to play Flash when the bloke playing Flash in the TV series, which has been going for years and is well known, is doing a good job.
He was doing a great job until the CW went woke as fucking crazy and stupid, and it was more about who they were fucking than the actual story. So
I'm just trying to on a note of that, because it started going a bit shit, and I've started working my way back through Arrow because I know last season is the last season, so I'm finishing off. I don't know what season it is, but I'm not on the latest season yet, but I'm on about episode 14 or 15 of last year. I've got them all recorded. Same with Supergirl and same with Flash. So it's all about.
I like the original cast of
Keith, we lost you for a moment.
I like the original cast of Arrow, but his daughter. Sorry, I was saying I like the original cast of Arrow, but his daughter, his adult daughter, I think she comes into play in season 7. She is so annoying. She's so annoying. I mean, she's even worse of an actress than the woman that plays Iris.
Felicity and
not
Oliver Queen's daughter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
the adult version of her is just so annoying.
When I'm just watching it, if you just come in, sort of thing, because they're sort of time skipping anyway.
I haven't watched Arrow for ages because
I haven't. I just got so much.
I like Stephen Amell. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
I like his cousin Robbie Amell. He's a good actor too. I like Grant Gustin. He's a good actor. Apparently, he's fallen out with Candice Watsumus, who plays Iris West in the thingy, and a lot of other members of staff have also fallen out with her over stuff, but we don't know what that is. And it would be nice if he could escape to the DC movie. So let's move on to Ghosts of Tsushima. And I can't say it very well. And right, just before we start, last week I said Assassin's Creed is missing the trick. They should set it in Japan and have ninjas or World War II. Well, Sucker Punch and fucking beat them to the punch because they've come up with Ghost of Tsushima. It looks it looks really, really pretty. Hang on, let's just get to some gameplay bits. Yeah, it looks really pretty, and it's got kind of all this kind of lots of foliage and whatnot. It doesn't help that we're streaming this and then streaming it again, so the quality drops. But is
this an open world game set in Japan?
Yeah, open world game set on an island in Japan. Yeah, one of their God knows how many islands they've got. But look how pretty.
If you skip forward a little bit towards a bit of
this is right up your alley.
Yeah, Keith, I was saying that to G the other day because I sort of like these open worldy type games in this style, God of War style, or I've just finished The Last Jedi. That was quite open world, a bit like this. As long as the combat is decent enough to pick up, then I don't mind it.
Yeah, they've got several different ways of doing combat. You've kind of got your ninja or the ghost way of doing it, and you have the samurai way of doing it. So the samurai way of doing it is you just barge into the camp and slice everyone to death with swords and good time.
That's my way.
And then you got the ninja one where it's like you sneak in and you pick them off one by one. And it looks fantastic.
So I agreed with you last week when you said an Assassin's Creed with ninjas would be a really cool idea. This looks fucking awesome.
It looks like they've beaten to it. So what a waste, guys! You could have got there earlier and sort of.
Sure, how many Assassin's Creeds have there been? Like for them to try and figure out that doing something over in Japan or even China might have been a good idea.
Yeah, well,
but they haven't.
Ninjas in China probably work. Ninjas in China, ninjas in Japan will work better than stuff in China because usually it's just all-out war in China than kind of this sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's more like
the other thing they could do for Assassin's Creed 2 is Robin Hood. That's another one they could have done for Assassin's Creed 2. Could have done Robin Hood. Could have done those like folk heroes that you got through medieval times. But this does. It looks lovely. Shame that we can't stream it at the same bloody quality that they're featuring it at. But it does. It looks really good, and it's frustrating as hell considering that the Naughty Dog have fucking screwed the pooch, and then Sony have then tried to help them screw the pooch even more. If they would have not put the copyright shit out, that they've been doing, and they hadn't have put out the dumb game that they were planning on putting out, and they just have kept their gob shut, and we would have seen this, we would have gone, wow, this is fantastic. But we haven't, so it's looking a bit poop, which is annoying.
Yeah.
But sorry, nice, go on.
Yeah, I was just saying it's slightly putting me off the next gen, as it were, for PS5, and sort of putting me towards what Microsoft are going to put out because not because of the console itself. The console itself might be amazing. It's the activities that both Sony and Naughty Dog have undertaken against free speech that I don't agree with, and it's pushing me away because of that. everyone's got a right to sit there and talk about what is in the news. And what was in the news was the leaks, and just simply talking about the leaks of the next game that is coming out had Sony and Naughty Dog breathing down your neck, creating spurious copyright claims against your voice. And that is what annoyed me.
Do you know what they should have done?
That is what's pushing.
I'll tell you what they should. I know you're angry, but does anyone remember the launch of Crackdown 3?
No.
Do you know why?
Yeah.
Because Microsoft thought the game was shit and they thought it was going to cause trouble, so they just quietly released it. And I think they should have done the same with Naughty Dog, and they need to fire Neil Druckmann.
Nigel's. Sorry, Gareth. I thought you'd finished. I apologise.
No, okay, go.
I was going to say, Nigel, you perfectly summed that up. And I think that Gareth last week called it the Barbara Streisand effect, and it's absolutely correct. Whoever is in Sony marketing has totally and utterly mishandled all of this, and it's going to damage sales of the PS5, and it's a shame because arguably it's the better console. You know, going on what Microsoft and Sony have released, which we're going to be talking about in a bit, it is arguably the better console. But a lot of people are going to have the same opinion as you. And, you know, I certainly, if I was going to buy a console now, I would have to really think about it, because if I had the choice between the two, because right now I think Sony has behaved utterly disgracefully. I am ashamed to be a PlayStation fan at the moment, because I think, as you said, Nigel, they've attacked free speech. You know, there's a couple of channels out there that have not shown any kind of copyrighted material, haven't shown any screenshots of the leaks. They have just fucking talked about the leaks, and their channels are being utterly fucking screwed over by these fucking cunts. Excuse me, but they are misusing the YouTube tools to screw over these channels. Well, fuck you, Naughty Dog, and fuck you, Sony. It really pisses me off. It's an absolute abuse, and I'm hoping that these channels get together in the States, a fucking class action lawsuit against your asses into the ground like a bunch of bullies. And you know, I don't like bullies, so fuck you. And it really does make me angry when I think about it. You know, you listen to Heel versus Babyface. I love his humour, by the way. He's a funny, very British humour, and I love him. But he didn't show anything, and he's got fucked. And not only did they put a copyright strike against him, they put 2 fucking claims in as well. And what have they done when he's appealed it? Oh, they've decided to counterclaim that again, which so comes out like a day before the game gets released, and they'll let it run out. They will let it run out because they haven't got a fucking leg to stand on. YouTube needs to sort this out, because it's YouTube as well, because you allow these household companies to do this. So YouTube have got to sort it out as well. They really do. Yeah, you know, YouTube bears some of the culpability.
They do. They've got a system that's ripe for abuse. That's
been like
the problem.
years, hasn't it?
It has. That's been like that for good 4 to 6 years, I believe.
And they just let it go. They just think it's a great system, and because you get people who, cool. I can't remember. There was a thing happening. Yeah, this person. I think her name was Alex or something. She was contracted by a games developer, to create some music for a game. Whilst she was there, she created the music, blah, blah, blah. She created the music. Obviously, in the contract, it was whatever you make while you're here becomes the property of the company. You own no rights over it, blah, 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 all in the contract. She is one of those people who thinks the world is against them. I think, if I'm right in thinking, they were transgender, but that shouldn't really matter about them.
No. That says a lot about someone. That says screams, "Look at me."
Yeah, and however, they started acting up in the office, and it was getting really bad. And in the end, they went, "Right, we're going to cancel your contract immediately. We can't have you behaving the way you're behaving." So they went off made a YouTube account and started looking out for any gameplay trailers of the game that has been released.
No, she was looking at live streamers, so people who were playing the game, and it just happened to play a piece of music in.
She did that, and any videos that were taken, which may have had some of her music in, that she made for the company. And any video on YouTube, she was doing hundreds a day, hundreds of claims a day on many different YouTube accounts. And she even got a cease and desist letter in the post by a lawyer from a class action lawsuit from all these YouTubers. And she continued because she said she was in the right. Even the company themselves said, we don't usually do this. Here's her contract. We own the rights. She doesn't. She has to stop. She continued. It's one of those things that she's attacking innocent people.
And we did report about this in a previous life.
Yeah, this is in previous life because I think it might have been a game that we possibly were talking about.
Yeah.
Or and we had that, and loads of other thousands of people had this, and it's just a system on YouTube that is ripe for people to abuse. Because if you don't like what someone said in a video, just put in a copyright claim against it. And there's no recourse for the person putting in that claim.
All right.
Even if there's nothing. Well, if Gareth put the video out and I didn't like what he put, I could just put a copyright claim in, and then that means the video's off for 2 weeks. It's ripe for abuse. But that's the example anyway.
Okay,
so on this, we've let me remove those. Okay, right. David, he wonders why they haven't done a Robin Hood game as well, but he thinks it would work.
I reckon it would work really well against the Sheriff of Nottingham as the bad guy.
Even if, let's say, it was like an action game, bit like Assassin's Creed. Doesn't have to be Assassin's Creed, but an actiony game where you learn your skills, learn your bow, all that sort of stuff, and you get better and better, and you can rob more rich people each time, and give to even poorer people every time. There could be a game in that. Why not?
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to our next story, and our next story is the Unreal Engine 5 was unveiled, and it's annoying because if it wasn't for the shit that's going on with Naughty Dog, this is in-game graphics. Everything here is in-game and is running live on a PS5. Now, this will probably run on an Xbox X Series.
It's going to be the same tech, both consoles, I imagine.
Yeah, because you want to build it for Unreal, and then you can have it then just sort all the shit out for all the other games. But just look at that. The detail is just ridiculous, and they're talking about how they can move in mega textures and Z brushes and other art assets from other things, and the system does all the conversion and stuff. So, because what you tend to do with these things is you build a real big model of what you're looking at, and then you start building cut down models for ranges. So the further away it is, the least detail it's got on it. So you have like 3 grades: close up, in the distance, and in the far distance. And it looks the character looks crap, but the actual things, the actual game, the scenery and that, and it's like the engine talks about traversal where it puts the handholds in the places and everything. Looks fantastic. It really does.
This fucking incredible. I can't get over the level of texture, and again, it annoys me. It annoys me so much because had the whole, as you said, Gaz, had the whole Naughty Dog shit not happened, I would have been fucking waxing lyrical left, right, and centre over this. I mean, purely from a technical point of view, it looks incredible. I mean, we were talking a bit about this before we came live on air. and you know the character looks shit. Well, not shit, but they don't look like next gen characters. But by God, the environment looks amazing. And I just need to say, I need to reply to this. Dave, I said exactly the same thing. I said exactly the same thing when I watched
the same thing. Even though
I think
elf girl.
Yeah, we did. I think that they've probably chosen this to showcase it because it's probably more technically difficult to get right with the lighting and the way things fall and like bats flying through and traversing and moving. And if you just had a field, it wouldn't be quite as good, would it? But it's an enclosed space where a bit falls out of the ceiling and more sunlight comes through and lights it up a little bit. And then you've also got a handheld torch, I think, where it shows the way the light reflects off it. So it's the best way, really, to showcase your Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah,
it looks fantastic. The
it is mind-blowingly good looking.
It's clearly based on that. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying. I was just going to say, if you want to look at it, go to YouTube. Go to Epic's YouTube channel itself, and have a look at the highest definition you can video of this, and just to get a proper look at it. You can't see it for very well on this stream that we're doing right now, but it's well worth a look to see how far we've come, I think.
Oh,
it is.
It reminds me of that temple that's cut into the rocks in Jordan, which was used in Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. It's clearly based upon that. I had a mate that's actually been there. I'd love to go there.
There are loads of places like that. There's a whole city. There's a whole city carved out the side of a mountain. But what I found interesting is it's you look at that and it's like, okay, that's great. That's what the experts can do with that game engine. Yeah, they're showing that off specifically because we know what we're doing and this is what we can do with it. Yeah, and I was like, oh well, if that's what they can do with it, what given the state of things, if we look at what the PS4 demo looked like, we could then use that as comparison. And I'm looking at it, and I'm sorry about the frame rate for those who are watching on the stream. This stuff here, I've seen playing Doom in 2016. Yeah, so I've seen this, and I've also seen in like other Sony games like God of War. But this stuff here, okay, it's not. You notice that it's quite close up, shall we say? It's not so many fast shots, but this was running live on a PS4. Yeah, so this was a live demo on a PS4. So this is their demo. This is their equivalent demo that they did then. And I think they were showing more of the the pixel things rather than not pixel and particle effects, rather than the was it like ray tracing or this new kind of pixel tool that they've got for creating super meshes or mega meshes or whatever they are. But Nigel, you play games that look like that on the PS4, haven't you?
Yeah, I think I have actually. It doesn't look too far from what we've got on recent games, I would say. Maybe not when it first came out.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't say the last game that I properly, did 100%, couldn't stop playing was that Jedi game, and it looked decent, and the graphics were very good, but maybe it was on par with what we're seeing here on this Unreal 4. But then near the beginning, it wasn't quite like this. It did look a bit not off, but
not as refined, shall we say?
Yeah.
So the idea of this is to make you think when you see that. It's like kind of that's the kind of games that you're going to get mid-cycle. Yeah,
but I mean, you look at this now, and then you go back to that demo on the PS5. There is a vast difference.
Yeah, no. What I'm trying to use this this is PS4 stuff that was shown off. Yeah. So this is the stuff that they were showing off. So this is the equivalent of that demo that we just saw.
So this was the Unreal Engine 4
running on the PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've played games that look like that. I've played games that look like that.
But what Nigel's saying is that they didn't quite look like that the first time they were out.
No.
So
when the PS4 was released, it didn't look like that. But yeah, mid-cycle, after a couple of years, I would say.
After your CD tray broke and you had to get a Pro. Yeah.
Yeah, but I reckon if Gareth played the game on his inferior PS4, then it would still look good.
Yes.
Yes. No. I mean, even on my good old PS4 that I've had, some of the newer games. I think Spider-Man looks pretty good, but not quite like that. But I do think it looks good.
I think Spider-Man looks a bit better than that, actually, because it's got some range to it.
A lot of depth.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. Just to point out a comment from my brother. That demo on the PS5 looks unreal.
Oh, Alex.
We're talking about the Unreal 5 demo.
You didn't show his other comment, though, did you?
No. He's not hitting half a century, you bastard.
It's not half century.
It's all right. He's got his keys to his Zimmer. It's not Zim Zimmer who's got the keys to my Beamer. It's Beamer Zimmer who's got the keys to my Zimmer.
Anyway, you bastards.
It's all right. I'm older than you.
This stuff looks great. I do feel like this is going to be good. I'm so annoyed that they have let one member of staff look like they're going to ruin it for a couple of hundred members of staff, and I'm not talking about the staff member who'd let the guy in to get the data out so they could show off the game. I'm talking about the person responsible for it, Mr. Neil Druckmann, and he will bury Sony if they're not careful. The other thing too, which is really worrying, is that Sony have moved to California rather than being in New York. And in New York, you kind of have a bit get shit done attitude, where you have a bit of a wanky attitude.
California has its own bubble. It just doesn't recognize anything beyond its borders, no matter how much it claims it does. It just doesn't. And this Neil Druckmann, whatever his name, I just want to punch him.
Yes,
and it's like look, here's a penis and a pair of balls.
Yes, you require
fucking soy milk drinking wank stain. Christ almighty! Look, you can respect women, right, without being what you are, you idiot. Oh God, these fucking people.
Okay. Oh well, you're not going to like this next story. This next story is going to fuck you off something royally. Just a quick one, Keith. I know Nigel's supposed to be doing this, but I couldn't help myself when I saw this. So I heard that Keith had trouble with his phone due to his fingers not being able to press the buttons, so he threw it in his carp pond. Oh, sorry. I couldn't resist.
Thanks, buddy. I'll tell you what
happened.
Not having my phone for an entire week, I've just been cut off from the world. It's been horrible. I've had no WhatsApp. I've had no anything. It's dreadful. But no, I'm glad that I have a new phone, even though I begrudgingly got the one that I've got, which I'm not overly happy about, but it was the only way to get my data, and I needed a load of stuff off some of the apps. So I had to go with an iPhone 11. But it's okay. Look, I got it discounted.
You never know.
So.
When it comes to the next phone that you can get, you can actually swap from
Yes.
Apple.
And that's what I hopefully intend to do. Yeah, I do. I've got the
Enjoying the
iPad. That's fine.
All right. Okay. Let's move on to the next story. Because it's just Dave taking a piss out of Keith at the moment. The chat. So moving on to the next story. Now this one, I put this on. This is something that's going to fuck you off, Keith. All right. YouTuber, that Star Wars game cosplayer, and this Wanderlust Luca accused of racism over Starfire cosplay. All right. Just before we start, let's have a look at Starfire. That's a picture of Starfire there. What color is her skin?
She was really. I know exactly where this is going. I know exactly where this is going.
She's orange, yeah. So
yes.
So
but because she was caught.
Donald Trump. No, Keith. Because her and Donald Trump are in common. They've got something in common there. All right. So that Star Wars girl and Wanderlust Luca were accused of racism of Starfire cosplay because this is Wanderlust Luca in her costume, and she looks fucking excellent in it. Yeah, she really does. It's like kind of wow, that is seriously impressive. Okay, she's put some shading on herself to make out that she's got abs and this, that, and the other, but that as a piece of cosplay is fucking sweet. Yeah, so she's got that there. So she's doing Starfire from Teen Titans. I'm assuming that's the TV show, and then there she is again. And it looks fantastic. Now, the problem is that she's doing Teen Titans, the comic book TV series, not the current TV series, which is it Titans TV series called? Keith.
Yes. It's DC's Titans. Yes, yeah? It is. It's Titans. Yeah.
All right. So she's got that fabulous fucking costume, and in DC's Titans. Starfire, how can I put it? Looks like a prostitute, played by I can't remember. Find the thing there, right? So everyone thinks that because she appeared on one TV show as black because they gender swapped, the race swapped her, even though she's a fucking alien. Yeah, so it's like the Green Girls from Star Trek. That she's being racist. Yeah, even though. The black woman looks like a fucking hooker. She looks terrible. Looks really lame and really lazy in comparison to what the cosplay is doing. I find it really annoying because they sit there and you've got these dumb asses who want to get outraged over any fucking thing. And I would just like to do the following and walk them into a meat grinder. Turn around and say, you're not required anymore. There's the meat grinder. Neil Druckmann can come walk into that fucking meat grinder too because it's just getting on my toes. You're wasting time. You're wasting valuable time.
So where does that Star Wars girl come into this as well?
Oh, because she turned around and went, "Wow, that's really good," and because she went, really,
so they're jumping. So the woke brigade have jumped on her because they're too uneducated to realise that the character was originally not
orange.
Black.
Yeah,
orange. Yeah. And because she was cast as a, and it actually in Titans it doesn't really matter that they didn't really race swap her because she's not really white, she's orange, and she's okay in DC Titans, but because the minute that it's a black woman and a white girl dresses up, she's cultural, whatever is it, reappropriate, whatever it is, these people just fuck off. The lot of you. God, blimey. Christ.
I don't get it. I find it really, really infuriating when it comes to these things. It's so bad. Keith is frozen.
It is a black character. Can you hear me now? I can hear you guys.
Now. Yeah.
Right. Even if it's a black character, what is wrong with that? If you like the black character, if you think the character's cool, what is wrong with it? For God's sake! How many bloody black people do you see going to Comic Cons dressed as white? Their favorite, like Superman or something? Nobody says anything. What's the fucking problem with it?
Just let people be people.
I've seen a big black guy cosplay as God of War. And
I've seen that too. And I think I've seen the same guy, and he pulled it off really well. And I saw some bloke online take the piss out of God of War with his mate, pretending that he was his son all the way through and really irritating him. And no offense to him, it was hilarious, and I enjoyed the crap out of it. I didn't care that I'll be honest with you, I thought Kratos was black anyway. I thought he was black and covered in ash. I genuinely thought that until because I started from God of War 3. Because the guy who voices him is black and he sounds black. So I thought he was black, but I don't know. This is it's madness.
I don't know. I think it's a bit fucking pathetic, isn't it? People just need to find defense to everything.
Yeah.
I think it comes from two things. I think it comes from the silly dopamine hit thing that you get from social media. I think that people may be genuinely addicted to that, and that might be a really bad thing. Then there's the kind of self-righteous thing too that people have, because we're less. It sounds weird. It's like a religion without being a religion, and I think some people may need religion in their lives.
You see, the
could be wrong.
Picture she put up of her wearing the wig and whatnot. Next to that, she put a picture of the comic book character that she's cosplayed from, and she looks just like her.
Yeah.
And so she's cosplayed something that is made up, and now she's racist. It boggles my mind.
It does with me too.
I do not understand it.
Anyway,
I remember getting into Facebook rows with these people, and there's no beating them. So I just stopped following any of those old things I had on Facebook. I mean, I stopped following the Nerdist for many reasons, but I remember getting into rows with some of them because the Nerdist went woke because it's based in California, and it's oh god, drop a fucking bomb on California, do the world a favour.
Oh, please just crack it off and let it sail away into the Pacific Ocean, and we can wave at it as it slowly sinks. But let's look at something a bit more fun, shall we? We've got our what the fuck story, and it's all about a husband winding his wife up. So Cara Fields from Indiana shares a hilarious image of her husband, Matt, as he dresses up as a cowboy, Batman, to embarrass her on Zoom conference calls. Now, so here we go. Here's the first one. Cowboy. Given it's America, that ain't that bad. Really isn't that bad. So let's see what other shenanigans Matt's got up to. All right, so oh. Okay. All right. I have no idea what it's dressed up as. He's hunting gear. Sorry. So I imagine that's warm clothing and kind of things like that. Yeah, like a ghillie suit, but not as skinny. Batman.
Batman.
It's just as Batman. Jason Voorhees.
I like this very sense of humour.
And the best one, I thought, out of all of them.
Brilliant.
Where's Wally? He's at home working on the kitchen table.
Have you seen, there's a few memes talking of Where's Wally? Have you seen the social distancing Where's Wally's memes going around? Every time I see them, they make me giggle. It's just Wally. Where's Wally?
Wally standing on
in these current lockdown times, because you can spot him every time. Social distancing, Where's Wally?
Yeah,
it still makes me giggle that.
Anyway, there's some things we need to wrap up. So that's Nige. Go on, Keith.
What?
Go on, Keith.
Oh, Nige. Grab the Twitter.
Oh God! Now you're doing that again.
Yes, it's back.
What? I'll plug Twitter. At Monkey Nut Punch. Go to Twitter and follow us. There you go. But don't forget, we've also got YouTube. So you can find Monkey Nut Punch podcast, all our past ones on YouTube. So you might as well subscribe, hit the bell, and then you can watch us live and join in and chat with us while we're doing it. And then you get your comments on the video, and Facebook as well. So Monkey Nut Punch Facebook. If you follow the page, then you'll get a notification when we go live. And again, if you chat there, we'll also see whatever you're saying. That's what our mate Dave does. So we can put your comments up on the screen and discuss what you want us to discuss there. So that is what it is. I think that's all of the social media.
Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah.
Just people watch us live on Facebook.
Yep. Done those.
Okay, so me and Keith tried something new yesterday called fast food films. And my brother decided to talk to me for about 20 minutes before I started doing any show notes today, which I needed the time for. He's like, "Oh, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, do this, do this, and this." But we're just trying something new out. We're just going to talk about films and stuff from our past, because maybe with all this woke bullshit going on, that some of the stuff that we might have missed may be better in quality. Actually, I know it's fucking better in quality because Time Axe is a great filter.
If you need an escape for a couple of hours and you don't want to watch something that makes, where you have to sit there and think about it, we're going through some films that just give you that perfect escape. Arguably covered one of the best ones, in my opinion, yesterday. There are others, but there are a few that we think are just perfectly. They're just done perfectly. They're not meant to be amazing films. You're not meant to, if you sit there and analyze them in depth, there are thousands and tons of. But if they entertain you and they make you feel good, then therefore they've been executed well.
Yes.
So, and yes, we did Independence Day yesterday, because to me it's one of the best. It's good. It's just what it is. It does what it's meant to do, and it does it very well.
Yes.
Can I chuck Shawshank Redemption in there?
It's not very fast food. See, hang on a second. Nige, hold on, because I want to do more. How can I put it? Films with more depth with my brothers, and you should better join in with us because we'll do them probably later on in the evenings. But you'll have to start off by watching John Carpenter's The Thing, because that'll be the first one. So you have to find it on.
Never seen it.
You have to watch it.
With you. Shawshank Redemption is one of my favourite films, Nigel. But it's not a fast food film because it is a film that you have to watch.
It has a bit of depth to it.
Yeah, there is. However, I've got sort of two top films in two sort of categories. So I've got the Shawshank Redemption in that category, and then I've got Demolition Man in the other one. Just mindless.
Hang on a second. I was talking to my brother about this, and it has hidden depths. Yeah, and it really does have hidden depths. And one of the examples of hidden depth in it is that Sandra Bullock's character is called Huxley, after Aldous Huxley, who wrote Brave New World, world where the whole planet turned into sex and shopping. Between it and 1984, the kind of the dystopian models for these sort of kind of films and bits.
Demolition Man is very much a satire, like RoboCop. It has underlying layers.
RoboCop,
maybe not quite as much as RoboCop, but there is satire there.
It's weird because
I'm not.
RoboCop has.
RoboCop
has the story in it. It has the satire in it, and then it has the biblical level in it. And I'm not joking when I say RoboCop is biblical. It really fucking is. It's mad when you start going into it. And there's he walks on water. He gets risen from the dead. He also walks on water.
Yeah.
See, for me with Demolition Man, it's all about Wesley Snipes' character. The way he's just taunting and the things he learned, and then the next thing you know, you're cutting to Slice Stallone, and he's fucking knitting.
But no, I agree. We are actually. There's another one from '96. We're not going to give it away what it is yet, but there's another one from 1996, Nige. That, trust me, when you know what it is, you'll go, yeah. You'll go. We'll tell you when we're off air. But there was another one came out same year as Independence Day, and that is a proper fast food movie. It really is, and it's awesome.
Okay.
Don't say anything.
Right. Because me and you, Nigel, got to do some streaming because we've been meaning to do some streaming in regards to games and stuff.
Anyway,
everyone seems to do streaming of the newer type games, so it'd be nice to do a little bit more classic type game, old school, but good fun.
Well, I've got the streaming set up from my end. I'm okay. I need you to get your streaming set up from your end, and then that way we can take turns at manning and chatting as we're going along. So, guys, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for taking part. Thank you very much for your comments. If you're here at the moment, give us a thumbs up, please, or a like, a thumbs up on YouTube, and we'll appreciate that muchly. And we will see you next week.
Yes. But for me, bye-bye.
And for me, it's goodbye. See you next week.
Bye-bye.